Kind of.
Alexa, volume up. This is our next topic. Alexa,
Alexa,
volume up. Listen.
I just gave birth to an IPA. Is that supposed to be elevator music?
Smooth jazz.
Oh,
Alexa, stop.
killing me.
Okay, that is fucking horrible. That is like, I am going to kill myself now. Music. Whoever comes up with that, whoever is playing that music, has to be the most boring, uh, just evil piece of shit in the world.
He's probably like a super talented musician, but he's like, oh, I got this fucking horrible gig making this shit. But he's just like super talented that no one ever recognizes it. So he's like, but he does really well. Like, what do you do? I make elevator music, smooth jazz, bullshit. And he goes, well, let me hear what you
Yeah.
like. And he's like, you just fucking like, well, why'd you do that? Nobody wants to pay for it. He's like, got to pay the bills.
But I mean, that's the kind of stuff, like they say elevator music. Although I never hear music in the elevator anymore, but if I ever did, I'm no expert. But when you're on hold, that's the kind of shit that they play. And I think on purpose to drive
So
you
you'll hang
fucking
up.
crazy.
You're like,
So you
fuck
hang out.
this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, and then they play it in a loop, they'll play 2 or 3 bad smooth jazz songs like that in order to just piss you off. Okay, that's it. I'm hanging up. I give up.
You know what it reminds me of?
That's the goal. Yeah.
An unwelcome phone call from a guy breathing on the other end. Remember those? People used to do
Yeah, I
that
used to make
shit.
those calls all the
Yeah.
time.
It's so stupid, but awesome.
Yeah.
Hello? The good old days. No fucking caller ID.
What color panties are you wearing?
Hello? Fucking prank calls were the best. The best,
Yeah,
Jerry. The best.
the best.
Fuck, I loved them.
Yeah. Yeah, they were good. Yeah, I used to make a lot of those.
My
Actually, I met some people that way, I actually talked to this girl for a long time, once in a while, just because it was supposed to be a prank call, but then, she was hip to the humor, and then we got along, and we just kept talking. So
well, you want to fuck?
no, that never happened. But it was
My friend,
good time.
when we were in like grade 11 or 12, and it was during a sleepover, and back then, you had the white pages and you have their name and address and everything, right? I mean,
Yeah,
nowadays that would freak the shit out of everybody.
of
And
course.
so he'd call Asian people and tell them they're getting deported.
Oh, for
And they're like,
fuck's
I'm
sake!
Canadian. I'm a Canadian. No, we're sending people over there now. We're tired of your shit. It's like, it just like, he did really like kind of like,
That's pretty mean. It's mean
yeah,
stuff.
I would play pranks on people.
Yeah,
Like, hey, there's a bomb under your house. You got 5 minutes to live. Ha ha ha. Click. No, but no,
yeah.
but I
You can
mean,
make a movie about that.
there was one where there was a Corvette for grabs, and if I've told you this, you can stop me. It was my favorite prank call ever. We were up on this right around when OJ went on that fucking Bronco trip. And so I was living in this basement. Hell's Angels lived above us. Good guys, though. Like, we left our door unlocked, kind of shit. You felt safe. And
Yeah.
and so we were up all night fucking partying. And I'm like, hey, let's do prank calls, And my friend wants to do his. I'm like, no. You get a little racist. Well,
Yeah.
so we I started calling people, and I'm like, hi, this is Jim from C95, and I was pretending to be the DJ from C95, the local radio FM station, the biggest station in town in
Yeah.
Saskatoon. And I said, did you see the Corvette on the corner of 22nd? Yeah. I go, you won! Like, and we were calling people 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. I was like all in the middle of the night, getting them out of bed, and you're like, I won! It's like nobody,
Oh,
as soon as they thought they won something, called bullshit. Nobody. No, everyone is so fucking greedy, right? So I said, all you got to do is be at the radio station tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. to collect your prize. And they're like, there's going to be lots of people there, giveaways, blah, blah, we're going to have a big party. It's like, they're like, oh, fuck, honey, we won the Corvette. And everyone would know that Corvette because it's a small town, city, but it's like everyone passes by that Corvette. And Husky, the gas station Husky, was giving it away. So
yeah.
it was like everyone knew about it. So nobody hung up on me. Nobody. And so we're getting everybody to meet at 8 o'clock at the radio station. But we're drinking
Oh,
all night and we all fucking fell asleep.
I would have
And
killed you, Jim.
it was fucking. I wanted to go there so bad. And then we all woke
Yeah,
up after 8 and we just
Yeah.
wanted to watch everybody roll up. Where's my Corvette? It was like, fuck, but everyone was super excited. And I did it very convincing. I probably didn't sound like a teenager, because I did the DJ voice, it was like, but it was so awesome. Those are good old days. And then Troy wanted to go back and like, well, let's call a few Asians. And I'm like, no. He just really wanted to deport people.
Right.
But
Some people just.
That was my favorite prank call ever, or calls ever. But no call waiting or caller display, none of that shit. Never.
Right.
Well, you still can do that. I can do that on my phone because I have a Google number, so it's not my real number. I don't care if they fucking call it back. Hey, where's my car? I was like, you're stupid.
Yeah.
But I don't think I ever had any prank calls done to me.
You're stupid.
That would have been a good banner to have at the radio station. You're all stupid. But what an opera. I mean, none of us had a video camera either, so we could have only took it in, like just watched it happen, unfold. And I mean, nobody had security cameras, so there wouldn't be security footage. Like the security camera's like, hey, what the fuck's going on? Are we having an event this morning? Because we're just going randomly through the whole fucking phone book. It was, another one that we did was actually, it was my idea. It was really, I didn't think about it at the time, what I was doing, but actually it was a really good social experiment. And so we would call apartments and say, hey, do you have an apartment for rent? But I do it in an Indian voice. Hey, you got an apartment for rent there, eh? Like, no, we don't have anything available. Call back as a white person. Boom. Yeah, come on down. Fucking, yeah, every fucking place was like that. You say you have the Indian voice, they don't want anything to do with you. White voice, come on down. We were fucking with them, but then we realized, man, this fucking pretty racist fucking town against Indians, And to me, I never consider myself racist. I more like generalize, little things here and there. But for the most part, I treat everybody like, I want to be treated. And it was really kind of shocking and disappointing in people that they were so quick to do that. Now that I do those kind of apartment jobs, like, if I should do that because I just had one and I always call as a white person, but I should call as a minority and see how they react and then put that in my report. Like, when I called as a white person, they said no problem. When I called as a fucking Indian, they said, we're full, because that would be I should do that and I should post a video. Fuck.
Yeah.
Just of the calls. I'm not going to say which company it is because I'd probably get in trouble. But yeah, it was a really interesting prank.
You know what would help with that? If you put it on blackface.
I make the calls in blackface. Hey.
Works for Trudeau.
Don't feel right here. Indian voice. You got a blackface on? It's a prank. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just do phone calls in blackface and just talk normal and see how many people get upset,
Yeah.
And that'll be the experiment, not the phone call, but just how people react to the video. That makes no fucking sense because how's anybody going to hear my blackface? So it's like, it's really weird though. And there's so many people that would jump on like, oh, you fucking motherfucker, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm just pointing out how stupid you are,
Yeah. Yeah.
I I fucking fell in a vat of shoe polish, you asshole. I can't get the shit off my face, but you want to call me a racist? You motherfucker. Contact the shoe polish company.
Exactly.
What? What are we talking about? You got a problem, contact the shoe polish company. If they would have made this product, I could have done this. You could have used marker. Like, I'm going to take that kind of time. Did you ever, there was a movie, but I read the book. I never actually saw the movie. It's called Black Like Me. I think,
I think so.
I think Timothy Dalton or Hutton, one of the Timothys, was the guy. But this guy actually went and got like some kind of pigmentation thing done. And this is back like in the 70s or 80s. And so he became super dark, and he wanted to live like a black person for a while and experience life as a black person. It's pretty interesting.
So then, yeah, I definitely did not see it.
Oh, it's not a very long read, but I read it in high school, and I was like, fucking, it's called Black Like Me.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. Like, I always kind of liked that stuff as a kid, just to kind of get outside, but why are you reading that? I was like, because it's there and I'm interested, that's usually why people read shit. Like, fuck, I have no idea why I'm reading this. It's fucking bullshit. Like,
I'll just get in my hands.
It's not a math book, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really interesting. But those in Saskatoon is extremely split between like the Indians and the whites. Like there's a lot of racism there. I mean, I was threatened by Indians, but my best friend was Indian.
First Peoples, Jim.
First Nations or First Peoples?
No, now it's First Peoples.
Oh, okay.
First People.
Well, my buddy Dan, who's a big ass Indian, he's like, I'm a fucking Indian. He's
a big ass Indian.
Oh, he's a big dude. Yeah, he's like he was so funny. Like in high school, he was a monster. Not bad at all, just super. And he was adopted, so he had white parents. So he had a nice blend of introspective life, like because he'd go to the Reds because he had relatives there, but he always like, hey, anybody need cigarettes? Like we're all in high school, man. I don't, not too many of us smoke. Fuck, I need to sell some because he'd make money off that, right? Because tax free on the res. But
a lot of us smoked in high school.
You did?
Yeah, well, I did off and on, but a lot of people did. But there were some Indian First Nations guys.
First Peoples, Martin. I was just told by somebody.
First People. I don't know. I was just told by somebody too, and so I don't know if it's First Peoples or First People. I'm not sure the plural how that works, but anyway, I remember this guy Alfie. It was a hilarious guy. He chewed tobacco. He always had that ring in the back pocket of the tobacco chew thing, just like the cowboys did. And he kind of talked like a cow. He was First People. He talked like an Indian, and no, he talked like a cowboy. And but he had this kind of deep voice too. It was just a funny voice. He could have been a comedian. He could have been a great. What?
They're cow people, not cowboys anymore.
Sorry, First Cow People. And anyway, he did go on to be a stand-up comic because he was really great at that. But the chew just added to it for some reason. And then it just reminded me of your dude there with the cigarettes. Anyway, a lot of us smoked, whether regularly or not, in high school.
Yeah. When you said chew tobacco, at first I thought I said he used to shoot tobacco. I'm like, whoa, hardcore.
He was ahead of his time.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy in Saskatoon. And I think one of the activists just died, but it's really, really sad. It's just, I hate this shit. But the cops, you get a call, you got a drunk Indian. So they come and they take him, and it'd be in the wintertime, they take him out of the fucking city and then just leave him. And they fucking try to walk to the reservoir and they die. So there's one guy actually lived. He knew of a place that was close by where they dropped him off. It was a shack that
Yeah.
like a power thing. So he banged on the door. They let him in. So he lived. So then he was able to go back and he started fighting for all these guys. They were just they call it the Starlight Tour or something like that. But the
Yeah.
fucking Saskatoon police just fucking murdering people and no one ever fucking held accountable. You know, I mean, some investigations were done, but none of these people are fucking face prison time. Fucking murdering people. You cannot go and leave someone in -30 with no fucking clothes, you know, or even a jean jacket. You know, it's fucking insane. And it's so sad that somewhere along the line this seemed acceptable to people to treat people like this, and it's
There's
still
only
it's
one
still happening.
side. There's
Huh?
only one side to that, Jim. The Indians are horrible people. They always have been since the beginning of time, and they just want to kill the white people. So there's only one way of looking at it, really. You know, they've been offered so many land, like so many times, like 5 times at least. They just don't. They just want to kill white people. So I don't know why you're upset. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
I think the government should just like drop leaflets all over the country and then murder all the kids while they're at school.
Absolutely. Just
That's the
bomb
only
them.
solution. Just get rid of the
Yep.
whole lineage. It's
Yep.
pretty crazy what's fucking being unearthed. It's insane. In Canada, fucking fuck Canada, man. I mean, right now, I mean, the government. Of course, I love Canada. I'm so happy that I grew up in Canada and was raised in Canada. Um, I'm very thankful for all of that because it's a different mindset than down here. Um, but now it's
Yeah.
just like it's heart wrenching to see what's happening, and then even like Pascal or you posting shit and you can't even post it. You know,
I know.
the government's fucking filtering there. It's like
I know.
beyond belief.
Yeah, and it's getting worse too. Now he's clamping down on podcasts as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I was
They're taking control of podcasts.
but if I'm feeding it, then they have no control over you, right? Like,
I don't know how that's going to work. It'll be
yeah.
interesting.
I mean, if I post it, they don't need to know where you are anyway. So, but I don't
It
really
doesn't matter. They just want to, they want to control it here.
information.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is. It's really. I cannot believe, and there's still people that just are pro Trudeau. You know, and I'm just like,
Yeah, there's a lot of
why?
retarded folk out there that
Because
just
he
they
appeases
like him.
to the idiots. You know, people who can't think for themselves. So he says things because people want to be woke. People love being woke right now, right? They're like, oh, you know, blah blah blah. But the thing is, the woke movement is actually the opposite of what it should be, right? You know, being woke should mean you're aware and you're enlightened, not you're a social justice warrior and a virtual signaler. You know, where you don't use facts to make a point, you just use feelings, and it's all about feelings. You know, we don't
And
want
it's
to
about how
offend.
you
I
look.
have no problem
So,
offending people. That's an actually good thing to learn how to. I've been offended. I'm offended every fucking day by a lot of groups, and I just process it. I don't fucking
Yeah.
go anti this, anti that. I'm just like, you know, it's the world we live in. You know, I'm not going to agree with everybody. That's okay. I know a lot of people don't agree with me. You know, and that's cool because I don't want to be like everybody else. You know, I have no desire. I just want to be me. You know, and if you can't just you know, like, oh, you're this phobic or that phobic. I mean, you're the
how
phobic.
dare you be
Shame
you?
on you. Shame.
Yeah, shame.
Shame. Yeah. Shame, shame, shame. Yeah, it's really weird. Yeah,
It
on
is
Friday
weird.
was the first day I've ever actually open carried in my life. I had my gun on my side when I went out in public, and I went and
Yeah.
bought hollow point guns or bullets, and it was interesting because when I came home, there was 2 probation officers across the street. There's a fucking felon across who's on probation, and you know he's trying. He's I think he's trying to fix his shit up, but
Yeah.
they have their shirts on, probation, their gun. And I get out of my car and I got my gun, and this guy's like, "Fuck, this guy's a lot of fucking guns around here today." You know, but I wanted to kind of everybody because we've had some kind of shit going on around the neighborhood, so I was just like, you know, I'm just gonna advertise it. Don't fuck with me, because I told this one guy, I was having a conversation with him, and I said, speaking of Trudeau,
Mm.
and I have to be very careful because I'll do cryptic. Okay, I'm going to be a little cryptic here, just because
Okay.
I really feel kind of everything is kind of monitored. But I said and I probably won't be very good at being cryptic because I told him I couldn't, and then I just fucking anyway. So I said if I didn't have Anaya and B to worry about, especially Anaya, B not so much because she's an adult. Um, well, actually, if B wasn't if I didn't have a kid in a relationship, I would probably be
B.
the word would be an ass and a assin, right? And
Yeah.
and I would go and take out people. That would be my pleasure. And the guy's like, "Really?" And I said,
Way
"Absolutely."
to be cryptic. Yes. Yeah.
I'm not good at it. So if I get a knock on the
No.
door, I'm like, "Hey," But I do have them, so that's the thing. I can't put them at risk, right? But it's just like
Yeah.
there's certain people, like little Klaus's fucking group of fucking friends, And I wanted to write a script about that. Some fucking traveling comedian, traveling comedian. You wouldn't suspect it, but every town he's in, someone important that's a horrible just ends up not being around and unalive, depopulated. You know,
Depopulated. Yes. The
yeah,
depopulators.
yeah. I'd be a depopulator. Yeah.
Yes. Right.
So that's kind of because I feel like right now it's weird that here Kennedy got killed. He shouldn't have been depopulated, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that should be, and that shit doesn't really happen much anymore. It's kind of weird. I
It
mean, there's a
only,
lot of security, a lot of cameras, a lot of intel and stuff like that. The whole thing is you'd have to have it in your mind and then just never tell anybody, and you'd have to be totally cryptic. Well, not cryptic. You just have to be totally
you'd have to be,
benign, like, and not, you know,
yeah,
you
you'd
couldn't
have
tell
to not
anybody.
tell anybody. Yeah.
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 And so that would be, I was like, that'd be a great thing, like a traveling comedian who's a fucking mercenary. But he doesn't do it for pay. Like that's what I told the guy. I said, "Well, he goes, what would you do?" I said, "I wouldn't do it for pay. That's fucking morbid. I do it for principle, for humankind, people who are pressing people, and
Yep.
you create a shock and a fear. It will take care of a lot of things. It's not like you got to go do a whole bunch of stuff. You just got to make a statement, just like they always do, like mandates, right? Like imposing their
Mhm.
will. Well, I would impose my will through a fucking 7.62 round, or 308, 30-06, whatever.
44. What happened?
The
What
nice
happened?
Lapua would be cool, but that's really loud. Well, I can get a silencer, but not now. I'm sure the government say you're not allowed to have one now. I heard what you said. So,
Yep.
but
That's right.
I can go get a class 3 weapon. But that's what I maybe I should just write the story, and then that would invoke fear because there's a lot of truth in story, right? So it's
Yep.
but it's really weird that something hasn't happened. I actually find that very odd. But also Canadians, like my dad wrote, Canadians are really good at complaining. And they
Right.
really tried with the convoy to do something besides complain. Then look what happened. So this guy is a tyrant. He's a fucking dictator.
Yeah.
He's out of control, and he's such a fucking liar. And like I just don't understand because I would feel that any time a prime minister spoke to the public, it would be considered under oath, just the same as under oath. It should be considered just the same as under oath. And then when you can bring in the other stuff showing you're a liar, guess what? You're going to be tried for lying under oath. Your job is to be truthful to the people, transparent to the people. And when you lie and manipulate and you say, we never forced anything on anybody. It's anybody's choice. They may have their own reasons for not wanting the vaccine. And they don't get the vaccine, they won't be this, but. Like how can you
And
get away with that?
there's where a lot of irony comes in because I've talked about this at length with a friend of mine who lives in Alberta and hates Trudeau and has compared him, rightly so, to Trump. And he's